The Indian Institute of Technology in Guwahati has hosted the grand finale of Smart India Hackathon recently, and the institute was the nodal center to facilitate the software edition of the two-day-long hackathon, where 25 teams and 178 participants had come to take part in the event. One of the big highlights was that Prime Minister Narendra Modi started for research and innovation and said it has to be made a way of living. Now, we want to discuss today, amongst other things, that how can these hackathons be used for development? Mr. Jitin, can you tell us a little bit about how do the hackathons work and what are the problems that they aim to solve?
You see, the idea behind organizing hackathons is to try and inculcate a culture of research and innovation and try to, bring out of the box ideas and give them a supporting platform so that those proof of concepts can be created into a ready product or a ready service. Now, we've been saying in last 20 years that India have been long known as the world's software superpower. And that was largely because we are technically one of the largest software outsourcing economies of the world. We've been working as, digital coolies for the foreign companies. But now what government is trying to do in last 7 years is that they are trying to create an atmosphere where young innovators become entrepreneurs, they develop products and they make in India and they live in India and they serve the world. So to create that culture somewhere down the line, the Prime Minister is now pushing that this dawn of digital age, the new digital revolution which world is looking at, India should not miss that bus. And our young students who have even slightest innovative ideas are given right atmosphere, right platform and the right handholding opportunities. And their innovation is selected and respected. And government wants to become the facilitator to turn them into a ready product to serve the world.
So this year, the problem statements that were given to IIT Guwahati were by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, the DPIT, which is the department under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And the problem statement had a winning amount of 1 lakh rupees. So what are the kinds of problems that were given to IIT Guwahati to solve in this hackathon?
There are multiple things. The Prime Minister has already said that, look, this is an aspiring generation and the 21st century will be the age of research and innovation. Now we have to look at innovative minds among students who can solve the problems in health sector, technical sector, education sector. So we have seen some of the finest products where a student developed a technology of a deep analysis to predict cyclones by analyzing the satellite imagery of ISRO. We have seen another person from Kerala who were trying to translate the text in the ancient Devanagari language which was written in the temples in South India to, create a new repository for our culture, our heritage. We have seen guys from Tamil Nadu who worked on interaction with the differently able people by using photos, pictures and text. Somebody developed a mobile gaming application for the people who were suffering from dementia, which is a global health issue. So see, these are things which were far-sighted and these are new ideas which require just a bit of hand-holding and even small bit of honorarium or consolation money or prizes goes a long way when you are a student. So 1 lakh rupees, I think, is a huge money when you are in a college and you're trying to develop the proof of concept. So see, if our students are able to do all these things in colleges, then if you give them a right kind of support, they will develop one of the most innovative platforms in the world.
What about the practical application of the solutions that are reached in this event? How do we apply them on ground and how can different parts of the country make use of these solutions?
In last 7 years, the patent filing in India has gone by 8 times. Now, we didn't have a culture of patent filing. In this very competition, I am told a guy from Assam, he developed an app which is using artificial intelligence and other technologies to simplify the patent applications. See, this is one of the simplest examples that, if a guy like me has to file a patent, we just have little no idea that we think it is going to be a lengthy, cumbersome process. We'll have to create all sort of documentation. So if AI can come to your assistance and help draft that application, why not? We are a developing nation. We are not born with the large-scale AI-based technologies. We are in the transformation stage. So whatever best solutions come to suit our needs and demands will go a long way in helping the society.
Now, obviously, this is not the first time this hackathon has been organized. We have been having this event annually, and a lot of government departments have been sending their problem statements for young students to come up with solutions. How do you think this whole idea should be implemented in making it a part of our overall development story, especially in the backdrop of Prime Minister Narendra Modi also talking about how research and innovation needs to be part of our culture? Some of the suggestions that you might want to give to the government in this regard.
The idea is that the Prime Minister is very clear in his mind that India of the 21st century is moving ahead with the full confidence of youth. And this aspirational society will work as a driving force for innovation in coming 25 years. And he is trying to ensure that government becomes a facilitator in that journey, not an obstacle. Now, the talent revolution which is happening in India today, you see, now we have almost 100 unicorns in last 7 years. Now, this could not have been possible if there was no ease of business. This could not have been possible if there were no Startup India programs giving them preference in government procurements and buying. This would not have been possible if we did not run a Digital India program where we digitize our society. And by digitization of society does not mean only, digitization of public services. I mean, today you can open a bank account by just putting your finger using Aadhaar. It takes just 10 minutes in opening an account. You take example of COVID certifications, which is required today for traveling across the world. Even in the West, like Mr. Jaishankar pointed out last week, they are still using papers. So see, the approach of the Prime Minister is that India cannot progress if we go towards sequential development. We have to leapfrog so that we make up for the time which we had lost in last 5 decades.
Now, one of the things that you mentioned is obviously the ease of doing business, which is important for any new business to thrive and for foreign investments to come into the country. What do you think about the culture of innovation, and how does that need to be inculcated in the ethos of the country, which goes beyond simple business ideas?
You see, it's more about a culture. For the first 20 years, we saw Pandit Nehru saying that, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. We fought 2 wars. We wanted to focus on a strong army. We were an agrarian-based economy. Most of the employment came in agriculture sector. We said Jai Kisan. And then 25, 30 years later came a time when Lal Bahadur Shastri ji said that Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan. So you realize that that was an age of science where India wanted to be a nuclear power, India wanted to go into digital age. And, 2, 3 successive governments, right from Lal Bahadur Shastri ji to almost to Rajiv Gandhi, PV Narasimha Rao, they focused on transforming economy, making it an open economy, and they try to bring in machines so that we become a part of industrial revolution. Now, the Prime Minister has realized that those are things of past. The society has to move ahead with the further double the speed. So he's saying Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. Now this is the time for research innovation. We have to be independent. Atmanirbhar Bharat banana hai. For that, you have to develop products at home. You cannot be seen to be buying foreign products in the entire telecom sector. You cannot be dependent on foreign technologies. You have to develop chips over here. You have to develop semiconductors over here. For that, there is today a big semiconductor incentive schemes which is running. I mean, government has waived off almost all the fees for patents which you file here today. Tax rate for startups is less. If you are developing any innovative product which can, help the society, you are given a zero tax holiday for 6 years, 7 years. So the idea is that we should become the hub of innovation. We should not become the market for purchase. We should be selling the world, not buying from the world. So India has to be powerhouse of technology for innovation. And for that, we have a ready workforce of almost, 10 million engineers here today. And that is where you see government have now decided to open Indian Institute of Technologies in different parts of the world, Dubai, Bangkok, Malaysia. So this is an attempt towards, taking these innovations at a global stage, taking the talent at the global stage and ensuring whatever talent or, research and innovation is developed in India, they stay within India. So the whole idea is that to create a culture of research and innovation in India, and that is why he's saying Jai Anusandhan.
In fact, he has said that innovators need to find solutions for agriculture-related issues as well,
Yes.
because we still are quite heavily dependent on agriculture.
See, he's not saying that you focus on agriculture sector because that's where the money is. He is trying to ensure that the last strata of society does not miss the bus of development. When you developed unique ID or Aadhaar for India, first thing he wanted to do it along is that he wanted to use it for giving subsidies in a Aadhaar-linked manner so that no money is lost in corruption or leakage and every penny which government sends for the poor reaches the poor. We are all enjoying one of the finest banking system in India. Online banking is available 24 hours. In every nook and corner today an ATM is available. But the Prime Minister did not just want to focus on that. He wanted to ensure that every poor farmer, every poor villager becomes a part of banking revolution in India. And that is why you have this millions of Jan Dhan accounts being opened across India. And it did come to your rescue during COVID. Government ensured that nobody slept hungry using Aadhaar-linked ration cards, and government realized that poor should be able to procure government subsidized ration anywhere by using his Aadhaar number. So see, the idea about this agriculture or sector-focused development for precision farming is that whatever development and innovation takes place in India should be an equalizer for everyone in the society. Every strata and sector of society must enjoy the benefit of that India's development.
The other part is the national education policy, because he's
Yeah.
talking about the culture of innovation that needs to be brought on very early on. So it's a very good idea to make it a part of the education system. But how is that going to be achieved?
Simple things. If you look at today's education policy, they are trying to make it more relevant to the contemporary needs. I mean, he's trying to focus on computing, coding at early age. We didn't have it for 70, 80 years. We called up ourselves a software superpower, but we didn't have a culture of making it mandatory for students to start learning coding at an early stage, which is where the future lies now, which is now a part of new education policy. And then there is also a focus on continuing education. There is also a focus of how do you develop an online mechanism of distribution of knowledge from the best universities, or how to do online degrees. So today, if you see after this policy, so much of educational content from the best of institutes in India, IITs, IIMs is available online, free of cost for the every section of society to pursue those courses. So see, idea behind the national education policy is to transform the way a child is educated with a new age skill set so that he is ready for a contemporary world. The age-old skill of just studying commerce or arts or doing simple engineering will not help. You have to have specialization in those subjects, and that is where the national education policy is trying to cater to.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jitin, for joining us today and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you so much.